Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to discuss next topics in unit number 1. So we are in unit number 1 and these are the topics we are going to cover. Out of these two topics I have covered in the last lecture. Now, in today's lecture, I am going to cover these two topics. These two topics are very important and as well as very basic to understand the concepts of data warehouse and data mining. Okay, now we'll start with what kind of data can be mined. Yes, in the last class, we talked about what motivated data mining. That says where the data is generated from the outside world. I have given a lot number of examples. Next, I defined what actually data mining is. The next concept, now what sort of data types can be available or what sort of data can be available in the outside environment. Now, these are the possible things. Generally, we know that relational databases are available, that means tables. In the outside world, whatever data you have considered, almost every data is in the form of relational database, that means table in the format. Consider any office or that may be organization or what it may be. All the people they will maintain the data in the table format. Not only table format, there are the other formats also available. I'm going to mention all these things with a brief description and as well as examples. See this. The data may be relational database, table, or data warehouse, or transactional data. Transactional in the sense, say banking data, or whatever data which comes under to a transaction. Next thing is these are the advanced data sets are available. You can consider data streams, sensor data, time series data, temporal data, etc. All these things I have mentioned. I will explain one by one with help of example. Okay, see this. So it's a relation data. We know that relation is nothing but a table, and the relation between one table and another table we can provide the relation like this. So almost everywhere we can find these sort of data in the form of tables. See this, four tables are available. So this can be called as a relational data. These are the examples I'm going to focus. So these are the examples. This will be very helpful to you to understand what the different DBMS tools are there. Most of the people you know that MySQL, SQLite, right? Cassandra, all these things are the DBMS tools outside available in the market. And if you have focused on data warehouse tools, so these are the examples. So these are the example data warehouses where you can find, if possible, if you find time and just go through each and every warehouse tool and see the advantages and disadvantages. Just I would like to mention what is this. Okay, real-time data streams. So real-time stream data. So it's a flow of data. Okay, whenever data is continuously generated, those sort of data can be uh, considered under real-time stream data, like sensor data, like Twitter, right? Market oriented, all these things or data can be considered under the data streams. And these are the two products where we will maintain the data streams. So one is Amazon and as well as Apache will provide. Kafka is one data stream database which will handle the data streams. Okay, and next sort of data is object relational databases. See, it's advanced database. You can say relational database with object oriented features. So those sort of data can be maintained here, object relational databases, and these are the examples. Yeah, you can go through these things. And coming to the time series data, which sort of data can be comes under time series data, which will related to a few actions related to the time. like ocean tides, like sunspots, how they are moving, how they are changing with respect to time. All these things can be visualized with this time series data, like graph data. Graph data which displays the data and knowledge with respect to a graph. Okay, so this is one more example. Yeah, these are the kinds of data can be mined. All these data can be mined through the data mining concepts. Okay, not only relational data, apart from the relational data, advanced data also possible to mine through this data mining. And what kind of patterns can be mined? This is very interesting. Of course, we know the data and data is generated, how where the data is generated from the industry, how that is going to be generated, and what are the different types. Now, what kind of pattern can be mined? Now, how we can able to mine that? Of course, if you know that knowledge, what sort of knowledge that can be represented? See, these are the two major uh, types of pattern. Okay, one thing is descriptive, second one is predictive. So descriptive in the sense you can talk, or you can talk about that particular data, that is called descriptive. It describes the general properties of the data. Second thing, predictive. The second portion, it is a little bit advanced. With respect to the descriptive, it will predict the future, what may happen in the future. That is the second portion. So these are the comparisons between predictive and descriptive models. So descriptive model example, see this customer segmentation based upon their properties and characteristics. For example, a customer is a software employee. He may purchase, what may purchase? He may purchase a computer or a laptop or a software, right? And you depends upon the those particular characteristics, you can able to describe the particular customer. That is called descriptive. Similarly, predictive model. So this is very helpful to guess the next customer. Whoever will come as a customer, you can predict what may be the credit score, he may be fraud or not, or what it may be, right? Like that. So predictive and descriptive, these are the two most probably models you can derive as a pattern. Now, how you can able to do that? How you can able to do that? So these can be done with the help of data mining functionalities. Okay, these are the functionalities which will specify the kind of patterns to be found in the data mining task. See this, these are the very important concepts. Okay, these are the functionalities of data mining. First one is concept and class description. We have to know what actually concept and class. Next, characterization, discrimination, how we can characterize this particular classes. Next thing is mining frequent patterns. Next, their association correlation. Later, classification and prediction. Next, cluster analysis, outlier analysis, and evaluation analysis. So these are the very important key concepts which defines this data mining functionalities. Okay, so first of all, I will go through one by one. So before going to start this, you have to understand what actually class and concept. See this, it's very interesting example I will take. Consider an electronic store. This is a store. So these particular store are having products like this, a computer and as well a printer. So these are the classes of items. If you consider items, there may be, of course, there may be a number of items are there. I am considering these two. See, classes of items defines these two. Similarly, classes a concept of a customer. The customer may be young or a customer may be old, right? These two people may come to the store and they may purchase anything, right? Like this, the concept in the sense which defines this particular items, classes and concept. Okay, right. Now, what actually a characterization? Characterization says characterization and as well as discrimination. These are the two very important things which will characterize or talk about that class or concept what you have taken. I will tell you one help of example. Data characterization. For example, if I am going to find out a description, okay, a description of the customer who will spend more than $10,000 in a company called All Electronic Store. All Electronic is electronic company where all the electronic goods are available in the store. People are coming and purchasing. My concern here is who spend more than $1,000 per year. I want to know that. So the result is in the data characterization, if we apply data characterization, it will give the result. The result could be general profile of a customer, like he may be 40 to 50 years of old, he is employed, he is excellent credit score. That means all these are the properties of the employee. So who can able to purchase all these properties of the customer, who can able to purchase $1,000 per year. So this is the characterization output. Similarly, discrimination in the sense comparison. For example, consider I want to know who are the regular customer, who are the irregular customer, right? So I'm going to compare these two people. Now this is the output, the comparative profile of the customer. It will give the comparison between the customers of who are regular and irregular. See this, the general profile of the customer who are regular, they are 20 to 40 years of old and have the university education. That means all the educated people are coming to the all electronics company. Why? Because they are most of the time they need these particular products. Similarly, remaining people are the customers who are not having any degree. Of course, that may be senior or youth. They are not having any degree. This is the constraint here. Like that, you can compare more number of classes and concepts. Okay. Yeah. So mining frequent patterns, association and correlation. So this is one more functionality we'll talk about in depth on this particular topic in the coming units. So this is one example. See this, if I want to know, so who will purchase a computer, he will purchase a software. So what is the support and other confidence? So these are the two measures. We will talk about these two measures in the next unit. Okay. So that means what is the possibilities of purchasing the software if the particular guy will purchase the computer? That's the question. That particular question is solved by this particular topic called mining frequent patterns association. Okay. Yes, the next functionality is classification and prediction. So this is very important. This comes under to the second category. It's a predictive model. Okay, it's a predictive pattern where you can able to predict the future. What may happen depends upon the existing data. Yeah, say this. Consider this B diagram. If the age is youth, okay, if age is youth and as well he is income having high and he belongs to A class. Okay, if you apply the classification algorithm, depends upon the characteristic or like age and as well income, you can predict what the class he belongs to, either class A, B or C. Like this, these are the models which are very helpful to understand, or which are very helpful to focus what may happen in the future. Depends upon the attributes. Okay. And a very important thing is cluster analysis. So cluster analysis, it's unlike this classification prediction which analyze these particular data with unknown class label. Okay, so previously we can able to predict that these particular classes with respect to the class names. Okay, so we have to get the class names here, but without having a class label, that means class label, we can able to predict. See this diagram. See, there is no any naming, or there is no any measures, or nothing is there, but there is a graph like this having some points. See this, these are the circles which can formed as a cluster, as a group. So how you can able to form depends upon the density or closeness, you can form as a clusters, and the remaining dots are not related to this cluster. So this is like a cluster. Cluster is nothing but with respect to a centroid plus symbol up to some radius we can able to define the cluster. Okay, we have to talk about these sort of data in this cluster analysis. And next, which is related to this cluster, once if we have identified the similar objects as a group and what are the not similar objects, we have to analyze that also. I will show you one example. Interesting. See this. You have 5 sheeps here. Out of these 5 sheeps, if you group all the 5 sheeps as a one particular group, okay. Now one particular sheep is a black in color, which is not related to the particular group. So that this is the outlier. Okay. So we have to remove this particular sheep, and the total group is 4. So this is the outlier. Now we have to identify and analyze all these things in this concept called outlier analysis. So evolution analysis. So evolution is talking about time period with respect to what time we did, okay, how the evolution, how the incremental or decremental process in the time being. So we have to talk about all these things. I have given these examples here. So we'll talk about all these concepts in the next coming units, okay. But these are the very important functionalities of the data mining, okay. All right, okay, all the functionalities okay over. Are all the patterns are interesting? This is the question comes in your mind. Of course, if you completed all the patterns, and the question if you ask, are all the patterns are interesting? The answer may be no. Okay, but definitely yes, not yes. Okay, because you cannot able to find all the patterns interesting. So, okay, there may be some miscellaneous are there. Next, can a data mining system generate all of the interesting patterns? Obviously no. Next question, can a data mining system generally generate only interesting pattern? That is also no. Okay, so because that is a machine, the machine can able to predict up to some extent only. Here we are talking about prediction in the sense that may happen or may not happen. Okay, just we are predicting the things what may happen in the future, right? So these are the things we are going to learn in this concept. In the next concept, we'll talk about a lot more things about data warehousing and data mining, the coming topics. Thank you. Thank you for your listening. So if you like it, share it, and as well subscribe to my channel. And thank you. Thank you so much.